Hello everyone, this is Ali Reza. Welcome to the Mentor Code Lab. I know that at the end of the previous episode, I said that is the really ending episode of multi-sub-project system. However, something had happened during my production line experimentation that I had to stop, rethink, and record this video to make things complete. So this is the real end now, but I want to talk about something that Fabric API had, and I bypassed it completely, ignoring the fact that they may need to be changed. One of them was the check style, and one of them was the spotless plugin. Now, check style was using that style XAML file, and I thought that I looked into it completely. However, then I noticed that they were producing a regex there, and the regex was looking for a v1 folder under the API folder. In other words, in here, after the API, I had to have a v1 or v2 or whatever, and then whatever else I wanted. Now, provided it opens the door for flexibility in versioning your libraries and API. However, this is not Fabric API. This is my API. And even as it is, it's almost complete. At this time, I don't think that I can make things better. And even if I can make things better, it will not be a whole new version that will make the previous version being deprecated or things like that. That heavy usage of these sort of functionalities is not for this library, So tweaking that regex was meaningless. That was one thing. The other thing was that check style was looking for special things. For example, the file should end with an empty line. Guess what? I purposefully set the IntelliJ idea to don't keep an empty line at the end of my files. I personally don't like it. I don't know why some people want it. Anyway, the plugin check style was constantly causing a stop in the building process. The build would fail, for example, because your file does not end with an empty line. So I did nuke the check style, the XAML file, the plugin import, the plugin application, everything. So on top, you don't see a check style here. And in the place that I was applying the plugin in all projects, no check style. And below where I was setting up the check style, it's not there. Also take note, in the all projects section, there is no application of a spotless anymore. Also, the block that we were setting spotless is gone. However, if you take a look at the top, I still have the plugins ID spotless. Why is that? A little bit below this, we are using digest utils as an import. Now it says org Apache Commons Codec Digest, and honestly I thought normally it would be imported. However, I noticed that if I comment this line, com diff plug spotless, this digest utils will cause an error and it will yell at me. And this digest utils is being used few lines below here, digestutils.shop. So part of my versioning was using that digest utils, provided I could have dropped this, but then again, I could have dropped the whole thing and just keep the version. So why adding SHA, why adding hash map to each sub-versioning system to have a crazy number like this to be unique? Anyway, that arguably is possible for a small library like mine, but at the very least, I can drop this line ending from spotless. So no more spotless usage, no more style check usage. Now, if I would want to keep the spotless project, I could. There was this task under verification called spotless application or spotless something or spotless Java, for example, and I could execute it to make the spotless work on my Java files and fix the Java files. And now I'm really debating if I need these two last digits as 6F for Minecraft version, because honestly, I can easily add the Minecraft version at the very end. I don't know. Maybe I will drop this whole mumbo jumbo because I still don't like this hash system for whatever reason. You see that everything is using the same hash system except this shared version because I built it once and it changed. So as the time goes forward, eventually all of these will have new values, and those values are meaningless for me. Maybe they are meaningful for Fabric mod developers, and if they are meaningless for me, why should I keep them? I mean, what's wrong with this? Having MC dash, and instead of this whole thing, let's comment it. Let's say that the project that we sent in, or actually root project dot Minecraft version, and instead of this whole thing again, I could put it inside here with a dollar. Boom. Why not? That was my versioning, the original versioning 1.0.0 plus MC dash something, and that something was the version of Minecraft. Now, if I so want to, I don't know why would I do that. I could say that, you know what, get this hash code, drop the digest util, because I'm adding Minecraft version myself, so why use an extra plugin like digest utils? Okay, I have a little bit of a problem here. It says root project is not found. Maybe I should say project.root project. Let's try again. Also, even if it wouldn't fail, I would say that I need another extra dash here. So let's see. Still root project for project glibs logger of type block could not be found. Change it a little bit. On top, it says project name dash version. Okay. Then we need to get the Minecraft version from the root project somehow. So let's do it here right after the hash. We'll say def MC version equals to project dot, here we go, root project dot properties. And now I can get the Minecraft version properties, and we say if not MC version, meaning that we didn't find Minecraft version. That shouldn't ever happen. So we'll make an error fatal Minecraft version property not found on the root project. And after that, we will say MC version equals to something like unknown MC, okay, or unknown MC. Then here, instead of this whole thing that is failing because of the dots, we say MC version. Okay, this should work. And let's put a little bit of space here. Let's reset. And now we see the new versioning system 1.0.0 plus MC dash 1.21.10 dash the hash code. Okay, I'm happy with this. I'm really happy with this one because honestly, for me, at the very least, this makes much more sense. Now I know which version of Minecraft we are working with, which version of my submodules we are working with, and yes, we are having a hash code here and there that we can use. Okay, basically, I'm really finished. The only thing that I want to be a little bit OCD about, as I said, I'm really OCD sometimes, is that I want to have a few extra horizontal separator when it comes to this guy and this guy. So we are just having 3 extra equals at the very end of these. Really OCD, I know, but that's who I am when it comes to coding styles. Finally, I'm ready to call this multi-sub project whole system as a finished one. One last thing to remind, again as a reminder, if you are working on a module like logger that is depending on another module like share, you should load both of them in the focus.txt so that the dependencies work correctly. And as we know, in my library system, every one of them is using shared. So I will always have that shared on top, and the ones below that depends on what I'm working with and the dependencies. Normally, my way of working with my library is that I will start from top, going all the way to the bottom in an order. So when I'm working with shared, then it's shared. If I'm working with logger, then shared logger. If I'm working with config, then shared logger config, things like that. However, I would be really happy if I could comment lines here like this. Now, at this time, it will fail because here we are not dropping the lines that are starting with a comment. Now, instead of, let's see, double forward slash, how about we use a hashtag or pound sign or whatever its name. And here we are changing this one a little bit. So we are saying find all. Then instead of using it, we make the lambda ourselves calling the line. And we say def trimmed line equals to line.trim. Then we will say return if not trimmed line that is empty and not our trimmed line dot starts with, and here we can use anything that we want. I will use this hashtag or whatever this character is named. That's shift number 3. You could use even exclamation sign. Why not? This is all up to you, but exclamation sign is just maybe not readable. I don't know. I want something that is really obvious. That's okay for me. So also pay attention. this accepts a string, okay? So I can use something like double of this, but a single one is okay. It's a comment anyway. So right now, if I resync the Gradle using the proper character, I should still see the shared, the logger, and not the reference, for example. So finally, I can use this hierarchy as a guide in here. So put a hashtag that. Actually, let's copy this whole thing, and I can use this. So with a hashtag, making all of them comments, and remove the last character. Like so. Now I know that I'm using only the second and first library. If I want to move down, I already know the order of the operation that I need to start from top to bottom. Hopefully that will work. However, I'm a little bit not happy with this single character. It's not as readable as I thought it would be. But let's just sync the Gradle and make sure it will work. It should work actually. And then I can sit back and, I don't know, hit my head to the wall to make sure that I'm using the proper character here. Maybe double equal signs. And as you saw, it really went fast. So let's use double equals here. Double equals. Yeah, it is better. It is better. So again, resync. We should sync. We should see the project. We only see the logger and the shared. And the moment I remove these double equal sign, because this is two equals, and I will save and I will load. And now I should see the reference project in here. There we go. It's already there. So I'm happy. However, my OCD is kicking in again with these. Now, I'm happy with what I have in the focus, in the settings. And finally, this part, I can call it done. Finally, I can remove this comment from here because I want to push it into GitHub as your reference. And finally, remove this comment, save it, resync. And yes, I fixed my OCD. I'm that bad on this. And as you see, it's syncing, everything is working. And I did check the building. It is building properly on any one of the projects. Have fun, everyone. Bye.